The best marketing doesn't create more selling. It reduces the need for it. I'm Clint, and this is Creativity That Converts, the show where we unpack the art and strategy of using video to grow your business. This is the space to learn what's working, what's changing, and how to create content that really connects. No fluff, no ego, just real talk that gets results. Welcome to Creativity That Converts. One of the biggest misunderstandings in marketing is that content exists to get attention. It doesn't, at least not the kind of content that actually leads to business. The real job of content, especially video, is to build enough familiarity, trust, and clarity that by the time the right person reaches out, the hard part's already done. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Because some of the best clients you'll ever have won't need to be sold in the traditional sense. They won't need to be convinced. They won't need a long pitch and a bunch of follow-up to try and get them over the line. So why is that? Because if your content has done its job properly, by the time they contact you, they already feel like they know you. And that changes everything. People don't reach out cold anymore. This is one of the biggest shifts in buyers' behavior. People rarely reach out at the very start of their journey now. They research first. They watch first. They compare first. They sit quietly in the background and build a picture of who you are, how you work, and whether you feel like the right fit. And by the time they actually inquire, a lot of the trust building has already happened. That's why content matters so much. Not because it gets likes, because it shortens the distance between stranger and trust. And video does that better than almost anything else. Because video doesn't just tell people what you do, it shows them how you think, how you explain things, how you communicate, how you carry yourself. And all of that helps someone decide whether they feel comfortable taking the next step with you. That's what your best content is doing behind the scenes. It's pre-framing the relationship before the conversation ever starts. When someone has watched 6 videos, you're not starting from zero. This is the part a lot of people underestimate. If someone has watched 6 of your videos before they call you, that conversation is very different from someone who found you 5 minutes ago. Because now, they've already started forming conclusions. They've already seen how you explain things, what you care about, how you think about the process, whether you sound calm, clear, or even trustworthy. And that means when they do reach out, you're not starting from zero. You're starting from familiarity. And familiarity is one of the most powerful things in sales because people are naturally more comfortable with what feels known. That's why some of the strongest video strategies aren't built around trying to go viral. They're built around making sure the right person can spend enough time with your thinking before they need you. That's where the trust starts to build. The right videos do different jobs though. This is why having the right video library matters so much because different videos build trust in different ways and at different stages of the relationship. Some videos help people understand you. Some help them understand the process. And some help them understand why your way of doing things is so different. For example, someone might watch your profile video. That gives them a feel for who you are, how you carry yourself, and what kind of person they'd actually be working with. That's a trust video. Then you've got videos that act more like a system video. These are the ones that don't just sit on social media. They actually support your sales process and client experience. A good example of that is what to expect from an appraisal. That's not just a video to post publicly and hope someone sees. That's the kind of video that can be sent out via text message the day before an appraisal to help someone understand what the meeting is going to look like, what you'll cover, what they can expect, and how to feel more comfortable walking into it. So now suddenly the appraisal doesn't feel like a cold meeting. It feels familiar. Then you've got something like Modern Marketing Explainer. Again, this isn't just content. This is a system video that helps explain how modern marketing works, why certain campaigns cost more, what's included in those packages, and what the actual purpose of all that spend is. So instead of trying to explain fees from scratch every single time, you've already got a piece of content doing some of that heavy lifting for you. And that changes the conversation. Then you've got videos that help you understand the market and the area. Things like your neighborhood video or moving to the neighborhood. These help people understand the lifestyle, the local context, and the kind of place that they might be moving to. That's not just helpful for buyers, that also helps position you as someone who genuinely understands the area beyond just the transaction. Then you've got trust building videos. They work around proof and social validation. Things like what my customers say about me, a day in the life, or your 60-second social pitch. These all help people get a clearer sense of what working with you feels like, what others think of you, and how you show up professionally. And then you've got a really important category of videos that speak directly to pain and frustration. A good example of that is why your home isn't selling in X location. But importantly, this isn't just a generic seller video. This is particularly powerful for expired listings when people are searching why my home isn't selling. Their home's already been on the market with another agent and it hasn't sold. And that puts them in a very different emotional state. They're frustrated, they're disappointed, they're even skeptical. So when they watch a video that speaks directly to that situation, they immediately feel more understood. And that's often the difference between someone just browsing and someone starting to seriously consider whether you're the right next move. That's what the right video library does. Each video removes a different layer of uncertainty. And when enough uncertainty disappears, trust starts to replace it. Video reduces that need to sell. And this is the big reframe. The best marketing doesn't create more selling. It reduces the need for it. Because if your content has already answered the obvious questions, handled the common concerns, shown your personality, explained your process, demonstrated your expertise, then the conversation you have when someone reaches out is very different. You're not spending the whole time trying to prove yourself. You're often just confirming what they've already suspect and know. And that's why some clients feel so easy. It's not always because they were easier people. Sometimes it's because they arrived better informed and more certain. And that's what strong video does. It warms the room before you walk into it. This is why the best clients often feel pre-sold. You've probably had this happen before. Someone reaches out and they already seem sold. They already sound comfortable. They already speak like they've made their mind up. And sometimes that can feel a bit surprising. But usually it's not random. It's because they've already spent so much time with you. Maybe not in person, but through your content. And content has a compounding effect because every video someone watches adds another layer of certainty, another layer of comfort, another small piece of trust. And trust doesn't usually happen in one big moment. It happens in small moments, stacked over time. That's what your content is doing when it's built properly. What this means for the way you create video, this is why I think agents need to think differently about the role of video. Not every video needs to sell. In fact, most of your best videos shouldn't feel like selling at all. They should feel like an explanation, some reassurance, some guidance. Provide some clarity because the goal isn't to pressure someone into action. It's to help the right person feel certain enough to take the next step when they're ready. That's a much stronger role for content. And it's why things like what to expect from an appraisal, why your home isn't selling in X market, get to know the neighborhood, relocating to the neighborhood, or a modern marketing explainer, what my customer says, 60-second social pictures, show them a day in the life. They all play different roles, but very important roles. Some help people understand the process. Some help people understand the person. Some help people understand the place. But all of them work together to reduce friction before the inquiry ever happens. And that's where the real power is. And the bigger opportunity here is video doesn't just help you get seen. It helps the right people feel comfortable choosing you. And in a trust-based industry like real estate, that matters far more than most people realize. Because by the time someone is choosing an agent, they're not just choosing skill, process, marketing. They're choosing who feels safest, who feels clearest, who feels the easiest to trust. And video is one of the best tools you have to build that before the conversation ever begins. That's why your best clients often never feel that they needed to be sold to. They just needed enough certainty to reach out. And that's the job your video can do. That's it for episode 31. If you're unsure where video could support your marketing or you want to work out what kind of videos would help get your audience to know, like, and trust you before the first conversation ever happens, feel free to book a strategy call. We can talk through your market, your audience, and the kind of video systems that would make the most sense for your business. All the details are in the show notes. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week.